Io ho avuto la fortuna di poter lavorare con mio padre ai tempi di Pininfarina, poi Sergio Pininfarina. Ho lavorato con Fioravanti, Giugiaro e poi anche ai tempi recenti con Flavio Manzoni.
Quando in azienda si è cominciato a parlare della prima Ferrari elettrica, la volontà è stata quella di adottare un approccio molto disruptive.
We really started thinking this many years ago and looking at the excitement of being able to contribute to new industries, new ideas in creating what has become an incredible creative collective, LoveFrom.
Marc and I founded LoveFrom together about 6 years ago. We are a diverse collection of creatives, so whether it's industrial designers, graphic designers, user interface designers, typographers, we founded the collective with the intention of being singular and clearly focused on the creative process.
Portare a fattibilità il progetto ha richiesto la creazione di un piccolo gruppo di figure del centro stile Ferrari a supporto del team di LoveFrom e che fungesse, diciamo, da bridge tra San Francisco e Maranello.
And a bunch of the guys have been literally embedded here in Maranello. You know, they've essentially become part of the Ferrari team.
Where there's not either somebody from Ferrari in San Francisco or London or somebody from LoveFrom in Maranello. I mean, it's been like that for
5 years.
Yeah, for 5 years.
Yeah.
When John started to engage us in the conversation, and then as later Benedetto joined, I think John and Benedetto's courage and also encouragement, I think, was extraordinary.
When we start to work with LoveFrom, we start to get a lot of books. At the beginning, I had a hard time to understand it. But then it helped me also to learn new things and also to grow personally and professionally.
Because fundamentally at Ferrari, what we're really interested in is learning, understanding the future.
We both love Ferrari as both being collectors of Ferrari cars.
I think Marc in particular has an extraordinary Ferrari.
Yeah, well, so do you.
I've got a 250 Euro and then also an FA, so one of the more recent cars.
I have at the moment a model which was designed and built for a race called the Mille Miglia. It's a 375mm. Working with Ferrari on a project like this, obviously it's a kind of dream come true. These are the best engineers in the world, I think it's safe to say. So it was with a certain degree of intimidation that we started this collaboration, but very quickly we fell into a rhythm and I think we all felt very, very comfortable with each other.
Jony è un tecnico, uno scienziato, è un innovatore ed ha anche un'estrema attenzione ai dettagli. Marc sa mettere sul foglio bianco l'idea in pochi tratti.
But having Piero Ferrari available, it's a gift. Piero, you know, is not massively vocal. Every single one of the things that he commented on has almost certainly been implemented. I guess you could say he's kind of the gatekeeper of the brand. And having him as a sort of a talisman throughout the last 5 years has been invaluable.
And I think it helps our understanding of the future to be proper students of the past, because people have been confronting the same problems, haven't they?
This is not just a new vehicle, but this is an electric vehicle and the first completely fully electric vehicle that Ferrari will have produced, right? So the challenges were threefold.
Una sfida tecnica molto bella è stata quella del volante, per fare un volante che ricordasse i volanti tradizionali Ferrari.
We were looking at an F1 steering wheel and one of the classic three-spoke steering wheels.
Classico volante a tre razze, sì, in cui le tre razze sono proprio di alluminio anodizzato.
We loved this clarity that the team had here around just the joy and thrill of driving. And you can't enjoy it if you're distracted or if you're uncomfortable with an interface that's not intuitive and doesn't enable or elevate you to be able to drive at your best. I think there's this bizarre thought that if the power source is electric, the interface should be digital. And it makes no sense to me. In fact, we were determined that this shouldn't be an interface that was not engaging, visceral. It should not be a multi-touch interface.
It's really astounding how clean, how uncluttered the environment is. Then when you do turn on the vehicle, There's a whole ritual that's associated with that action. It has to do with the key, and there's a sort of very theatrical moment.
I think to truly enjoy connecting with a product, whether it's a car or something that's in your pocket, I think it's fundamentally important that you don't feel intimidated. We have been incredibly intentional about ways to build an authentic and tactile, visceral relationship with the car.
We just can't wait for people to be able to see this. I mean, you know, so far we're the only ones that have actually experienced it. But I think, you know, the overwhelming clarity of this user interface, you know, in general terms, is going to be completely staggering.
The first time I drove the car with the test drivers and John, Marc, and Benedetto was at Bologna, and the experience was extraordinary. I mean, I think we all found it really quite hard to articulate. It seemed borderline illegal, but it could be that much fun to drive and be that functional and that spacious. In a funny way, what we both like doing is trying to get design out of the way. If you sort of assume it almost wasn't designed. So from just this morning, leaving the car, there is an inevitability. It seems so obvious. It seems that there could not be a rational alternative to where we've finally got to that point of simplicity and inevitability is really hard